Once upon a time, there was a man named David who was deeply in love with his girlfriend, Sarah. They had been together for 5 years and had built a beautiful life together. They had talked about marriage and starting a family, and David was certain that Sarah was the love of his life. However, David had a secret that he was keeping from Sarah. He had cheated on her once, a year into their relationship. He had been out with friends, drinking heavily, and he made a terrible mistake. He had promised himself that he would never do it again, and he had kept his promise. But the guilt of what he had done weighed heavily on him. David knew that he had to tell Sarah the truth. He couldn't bear the thought of keeping this secret from her any longer. So, one day, he sat her down and told her everything. He was honest about his mistake and begged for her forgiveness. Sarah was devastated. She couldn't believe that the man she loved had betrayed her trust. She was heartbroken, but she could see the pain in David's eyes. She knew that he was truly sorry, and she wanted to forgive him. Over the next few months, Sarah and David worked on rebuilding their relationship. It wasn't easy, but they both loved each other deeply and wanted to make things work. They went to counseling, talked openly and honestly about their feelings, and tried to move forward. Despite their efforts, David was still plagued by guilt. He knew that he had hurt Sarah deeply, and he didn't know if he could ever forgive himself. He would often wake up in the middle of the night, thinking about what he had done and feeling sick to his stomach. One day, Sarah found David sitting alone in their backyard, tears streaming down his face. He told her that he couldn't live with the guilt anymore, and that he felt like he didn't deserve her forgiveness. Sarah held him tightly and told him that she loved him and that they would get through this together. David knew that he had a lot of work to do on himself. He started going to therapy and working through his feelings of guilt and shame. He wrote letters to Sarah, apologizing and telling her how much he loved her. He never wanted to hurt her again. Over time, Sarah and David were able to move past the infidelity. They got married and started a family, and their love for each other only grew stronger. David still felt guilty about what he had done, but he knew that he had been forgiven and that he had to forgive himself. He learned that love isn't always easy, but it's always worth fighting for.